君は他のデビルハンター
させてほしいよな。
Have you ever felt like something very important is missing from your life? Do you ever wish you'd have more people that care about you? A better house, to eat tastier food, to fondle some boobs? I know you do, especially the boobs part, cause, well, let's be honest, boobs are great. Well, some people can only dream about experiencing such an enjoyable and fulfilling life. Unfortunately, well, Denji, a 16-year-old kid, is one of them. Having lost both his parents, he finds out that his father left him a huge debt with the Yakuza, that he has now inherited and has no way of repaying it. He lives in a shed in the woods, only has enough money to eat slices of plain bread, and doesn't have any will or motivation to keep on living. That is, up to the day he meets a wounded dog-looking creature with a chainsaw coming out of its forehead. He saves the devil by offering him his blood, and a pact is sealed between the two. He names the creature Pochita. Thanks to this demon's power, he manages to find a way to make some money in order to try to repay his debt with the Yakuza. He starts working as a devil hunter, helping people that are troubled by these creatures. It's a very high-paid job, but getting exploited by the Yakuza, he doesn't get to keep almost any of the money. That's why he doesn't think twice before humiliating himself for just a couple of yen. One day, after getting called in the middle of the night, in order to kill a devil, he gets betrayed and killed by the Yakuza that was under the control of a devil they sealed the pact with, more specifically the zombie devil. Denji dies without achieving any of his dreams. A useless death of an even more useless kid. Or so he thought. They say that if you're lucky, what you see is a light at the end of the tunnel, but Denji, well, he saw an entire lighthouse. Pochita brings Denji back from the dead, offering him his heart in exchange of the permission to take a look at his deepest dreams. He kills his betrayers, and shortly after is reached by the team of governmental devil hunters, the Public Safety Division, led by Makima, a captivating and beautiful woman that, out of nowhere, offers him a choice to literally become her dog and work for her as a devil hunter, or to simply die. Denji, tired of his shitty life, meets a woman that, other than being extremely attractive, treats him in a way that nobody ever did, showing care to a poor and dirty boy that used to be avoided by everybody. Upon meeting him for the first time, she doesn't even say much. She just comes close to Denji and hugs him. This panel is, well, it is absolutely beautiful. He manages to portray how relieved Denji feels, experiencing something like this probably for the first time in his entire life. After she promises that every morning she's gonna feed him bread with marmalade, something he always dreamt of having, and other tasty foods, well, he accepts her offer without thinking twice. Fast forward a couple of chapters, he comes from barely surviving and suffering from a severe illness to being constantly pampered by this beautiful woman, having a nice place to live, meeting new friends, eating good food, and having women to spend time with. His life, that used to be extremely rough and deprived of any types of positive feelings, is now completely turned upside down. All his problems are gone. Or at least that's what he initially thinks. After a first period of time where, sure, he witnessed some truly fucked up shit that would have made any normal human being go absolutely nuts, but that was also cushioned by an underlying feeling of peace and routine-like monotony. He came to genuinely enjoy his new life. At around volume 6 though, something starts to change. All these characters that up to this point felt like they were deeply rooted into their archetypes dictated by their pasts and their dreams and ambitions, they slowly start to change. It kinda made me feel like they're cats that sense an earthquake before anybody else, and start to frantically move around, trying to hide from an impending danger that they're not really able to recognize. This goes for every character. The development they go through is truly mesmerizing and intriguing. Power, a fiend that took possession of her human body, a hot-headed being with no respect towards others that hates both devils and human beings, finds herself being best friends with a hybrid between a human and a devil. She even starts to care about other human beings, fighting along their side and supporting them. Aki, stoic devil hunter. It seems like nothing could ever frighten him. Deep down though, what he fears most is, well, it's death. Nonetheless, in order to obtain stronger powers in combat and protect his friends, he gets as far as stipulating a pact with the future devil, that in exchange takes the majority of his lifespan. Denji, an orphan that nobody ever showed love to. His biggest dreams are to eat jam on a bread and touch some boobs. His life was so bad for so many years that just to have food and being treated well, he wouldn't think twice before becoming a literal dog that blindly obeys his owner. But nonetheless, when time comes, he manages to get a hold of himself, make his own extremely difficult decisions and act following his, or not entirely, heart that numbed all these years finally awakens. Sure, towards the last chapters of the first part, it's actually the Chainsaw Devil, or Pochita, that controls his actions, but basing them on those now old dreams that he get access to when he brought Denji back to life. The Chainsaw Devil was considered as one of, if not the most powerful devil in hell. Feared by many because although demons once killed always reincarnate, those who are killed by the Chainsaw Devil are doomed to never come back again. So now we're coming to the main point of this video. Why? Why is Chainsaw Man such an enjoyable story? Well, it might be because of extremely well written and intriguing characters, because of a very unique and raw take on the shonen genre, because of how Fujimoto managed to create a fast-paced story filled to the brim with action that isn't afraid of showing extremely explicit scenes and doesn't think twice before illustrating the most gruesome and gut-wrenching situations, while also managing to seamlessly blend them with very serene, almost dreamy-like scenes that give the story this wavy feeling, a perfect mix of chaos and peace. Or maybe it's all of them. But what I think truly makes Chainsaw Man such an unforgettable experience is its extreme realism. I don't mean to say that the story itself is realistic, but the way it's narrated is what's so realistic about it. It doesn't portray any of the characters, even the more stoic ones, as perfect heroes that fight for the sake of humanity. No, all of the devil hunters, for example, are normal human beings. Some decided to work for the Public Safety Division to get independent from their families. Some do it because of an old promise, while some others do it in order to get laid. Nobody in Chainsaw Man's world does things that aren't going to influence their existence in a profitable way. Nobody is altruistic for the sake of being altruistic. Nobody is perfect. Well, just like real life, isn't it? That's what makes the story so enjoyable and somewhat relatable. And that is why Chainsaw Man is so good.